The Gospel of Judas, audiobook. And now I invite you to listen to one of the most famous and most condemned by the Church Apocrypha. The secret teaching in which Jesus told Judas Iscariot during the 8 days, 3 days before he celebrated the Passover. When Jesus appeared on earth, he performed signs and great wonders for the salvation of mankind. And some walk in the way of righteousness, and some walk in the way of their trespasses. So Jesus called 12 disciples and began to talk to them about the mysteries that are in the world and those that will come at the end. Many times he did not reveal himself to his disciples, but the children hid him among them. And he found himself in Judea with his disciples one day. He found them sitting together and exercising their piety. When he met his disciples gathered and seated, as they were giving thanks over the bread, they said to him, "Master, why do you ridicule our thanksgiving? We have done what is right." He answered them, saying, "I did not laugh at you. What you do, you have done, not of your will, but so that your God may be blessed in it." Then they said, "Master, you are the Son of our God who has been sent." Jesus said to them, "Do you recognize me in anything? I tell you truly, no one of this generation will know me among the people who are among you." When his disciples heard this, they became violently indignant and angry, cursing him in their hearts. And Jesus, when he saw their lack of understanding, told them, "Why did anxiety bring this anger? It is your God who is among you and his angels who have brought indignation into your souls. May he who is strong among you, among men, bring the perfect man, and let him stand before me, before me." And they all said, "We are strong," but their spirit could not dare to stand in his presence except Judas Iscariot. He was able to perform in his presence. However, he was unable to look him in the eye, but turned his face back. And then Judas said to him, "I know who you are and where you came from. You have come out of the eon of immortality, Barbala, and from him who sent you. But I am unworthy to speak his name." Jesus, knowing that Judas was thinking of someone else, someone who was greater, said to him, "Separate yourself from them, and I will tell you the secrets of the kingdom. It is possible that you will go in there, but you may have more trouble, because someone else will come in your place so that the 12 disciples will be perfected in their God." And Judas said to him, "On what day will you tell me this, and on what day will the great day of light come for a generation?" When he had said this, Jesus left him. First, when this was done, he revealed himself to his disciples, and they said to him, "Teacher, where did you go, and what did you do when you left us?" Jesus said to them, "I went to another great generation of saints." His disciples said to him, "Lord, what is this great generation, more exalted and holier, and which is not of this eon?" Then, when Jesus heard this, he laughed. He said to them, "Why do you think in your heart of this generation that is stronger and holier? Truly I say to you, that none of those born in this eon will see that generation, nor will any one of the angelic army, of the stars, rule over that generation, nor can anyone born among mortal men meet him, because this generation does not come from him who was made in the world, but the generation of people who are among you. He is from outside the generation of humanity, that is, with a power that masters other powers. And you rule over them." When his disciples heard this, they trembled in their spirits, and they could not find a way to answer what it meant. So Jesus came to them on another day. So they said to him, "O Master, we have seen you in a vision. For we had great dreams that night when the light." He said, "Why did you hide?" And they said, "We saw a great house, and there was a great altar in it, and 12 men. We say that they are priests and a certain name. A crowd of people is waiting at the altar for priests to come out and take up their ministry. And we prepared ourselves as well." Jesus said, "What kind of priests were they?" And they said, "Some were priests for 2 weeks. Others performed sacrifices of their children. Others offered their wives, blessing them and humiliating them alternately. Still others slept with men. Others committed murders. Still others committed a multitude of sins and lawlessness. And the men who stood at the altar called on your name, and remained in all these acts of their transgression while the sacrifices were completed." And when they had said this, they fell silent with trembling. Jesus said to them, "Why did you get jealous? Truly I say to you, all the priests that stand at the altar call on my name. I tell you also that my name has been written on this house of generations, of stars, through the generations of men. And they planted trees of crop failure and disgrace in my name." Jesus continued to speak to them. "You are the ones who will take up the service at the altar. So you have seen the one who is God and whom you serve. And the 12 men you saw are you. And the flock of those whom they bring to sacrifice are those whom you have seen. This is the crowd that you have misled at that altar, for the ruler of this world will stand by it. And in this way he will use my name, and generations will be ready to come. Then another man will represent a fornicator, and another will represent the murderers of children, and another will represent those who sleep with men, but also those who fast, and another will cleanse from lawlessness and error. And those who speak of themselves, we are equal to the angels, and these are the stars, perfect in all things. So it was told to human generations. Behold, God has accepted your sacrifice at the hands of their priests. He who is the servant of error, and the Lord who commands, he is Lord over the fullness. On the last day they will be rejected in shame. Jesus said to them, Stop your sacrifices. Those that you offer on the altar, which are about your stars and your angels, and have just been done. Let them become contrary to you and let them pass away. A baker cannot feed every creature that is under heaven and is not responsible to them or to you or to them. Jesus said to them, Stop fighting with me. Each of you has your own star. And everyone who came for those who are the source of the tree of the passing eon, not for a time, but came to water the paradise of God, and so that the generation that is to survive should not be stained during the transmigration of that generation, but that it may remain pure forever and ever. So Judas said to him, Rabbi, what kind of fruit is this generation having? Jesus answered, Every human generation, that is, their souls, will die. These, however, if they attain perfection in the time of the kingdom, and when the Spirit separates from them, their bodies will indeed die, but their souls will be quickened and uplifted. Judas said, And what will happen to the remaining generation of people? Jesus answered, It is impossible to plant on a scale and for people to reap their fruits from it. So it is with the unclean race and the corrupt Sophia, with the hand that created mortal man. Their souls go to the eon, which is higher. Verily I say unto you, neither angel nor any powers are able to see, only those who come from the holy generation before them. When Jesus had said this, he went away. And Judas said, Master, if you have heard them all, hear me now. For I saw a great vision. When Jesus heard this, he laughed and said to him, Why do you, 13th spirit, still try me? But speak, I'll try to live up to you. So Judas said to him, I saw myself in a vision of 12 disciples throwing stones at me, and already persecuting me violently, and I fled to the place where I am behind you. I saw a house in which I saw this place, but my eyes will not be able to measure its measure. Great people surrounded it, and this house had a roof of green leaves, and there was an innumerable crowd in the middle of the house. According to your will, teacher, take me inside with these people. Jesus answered, Your star has deceived you, Judas. You are not worthy, no mortal man created, to enter the house that you have seen. This place is preserved for the saints. In this place neither the sun nor the moon will reign, nor the day, but they will enter into it, forever in an eon, together with the holy angels. Behold, I will tell you of the mysteries of the kingdom, and I have instructed you of the error of the stars, and of him that was sent forth for 12 eons. Said Judas, Master, are not my offspring subject to the archons? Jesus said, Come, that I may instruct you, but you will groan and suffer even more when you see the kingdom and all its generations. When he heard this, Judas said to him, Is it better that I have received this, and you have chosen me to this generation? Jesus answered, saying, You will be the 13th and you will be cursed by the rest of the generation, but you will come and rule over them. And on the last day they will curse your conversion to the holy generation. Jesus said again, Come, and I will instruct you about hidden things, those which no man has seen. For there is a great eon without end, the measure of which no one of the generation of angels has seen, in which there is a great invisible spirit, one whom the eye of an angel has not seen, nor the intellect has comprehended, nor has anyone called him by name. And a luminous cloud appeared in that place, and said, Let there be an angel for service. And out of the cloud came a great angel, Autogenes, the god of light, and because of him 4 angels arose out of another cloud. And angels arose for the ministry of Autogenes. And said Autogenes, Let it be done. And it happened. He created the first illuminator to rule over them, and said, Let there be angels to serve him, and countless hundreds of thousands of them arose. And he said, Let there be an eon of luminity. And it did. And he appointed a second illuminator to rule over them, and hundreds of thousands of angels of countless who served. And so he created the other eons of light and made them dominate them. And he created for them hundreds of thousands of countless angels who ministered. And Adamas appeared in the first cloud of light. None of the angels had seen this cloud. And all of these were called God. And he created there in the image and likeness of this angel. He revealed the incorruptible tribe of Seth. And to the 1224 he revealed 72 illuminators in the tribe of the imperishable according to the will of the Spirit. And the 72 illuminators revealed the 360 illuminators in the imperishable generation according to the will of the Spirit. They were 5 to 1 in this number, and their father is 12 eons out of 12 illuminators, for each eon 6 heavens, also 72 heavens were created, with 72 illuminators, 1 in each. To them again 5 firmaments, until 360 firmaments were formed, and power was given to them. The greatness of the army of countless angels who praised and served immediately. The virgin spirits also worshipped and served all the eons, including the heavens and their firmaments. This multitude of immortals is called the world. And this is destruction on the part of the Father and the 72 illuminators that are with him, together with the autogenes and its 72 eons. It was in him that the first man with his indestructible power was revealed. And he revealed himself as Eon, together with his generation. It was in him that there was a cloud of Gnosis together with angels, which is called El, together with Eon. Then he said, "Let the 12 angels rise up to rule over chaos and abyss." And behold, an angel appeared from a cloud. And his face breathes fire. His image is contaminated with blood. He has the face of Nebro, which means apostate. Others call it the Yalba boat. And another angel came out of the cloud. Soklas. Nebro created 6 angels, including Soklas, for ministry. And thus the 12 angels in heaven arose. And he took every one of them a part of the heavens. And the 12 archons said to the 12 angels, "Make yourselves each generation before the angels." The first is Set. He is usually called Christ. The other is Harmatat. The third is Galilee. The fourth is Jabal. The fifth is Adonias. These 5 ruled over the abyss, but first over chaos. Then Soklas said to his angels, "Let us make man according to the likeness and image." And they created Adam and his wife Eve, who was called Zoe in the cloud. For in this name all the tribes seek it, and each of them calls it by that name. And the Archon told Adam, "Your life will be given to you for a long time, together with your children." Judas said to Jesus, "How long will man live?" Jesus said to him, "Why do you wonder that Adam and his generation took the time of life in the place where he accepted his kingdom over him, ruling together with his archmate?" Judas said to Jesus, "Can the spirit of man die?" Jesus replied, "This is how God commanded Michael to give them human spirits to serve as their gift. But the Great One instructed Gabriel to give spirits to the great generation without lording it over. And this is the spirit together with the soul. God caused Gnosis to be given to Adam and those who were with him, so that the rulers of chaos and the abyss would not rule over them." Judas said to Jesus, "What is this generation to be?" Jesus answered, "Truly I tell you, the stars will end above them all when he brings to fullness his periods of time established by Soklas. Then their first star will rise together with the generation. And what has been announced will come true. Then they will commit adultery in my name, and kill their sons in my name. And he will make thy star over the 13th eon." Then Jesus laughed. Judas said, "Master, why do you laugh at me?" Jesus answered, saying, "I laugh, not at you, but at the error of the stars. These 6 stars are with these 5 fighting. Behold, they will all be destroyed with their creatures." Judas said to Jesus, "What will become of those who wash in your name?" Jesus said, "Truly I say to you, this is the washing that they have accepted in my name. Truly I say to you, Judas, those who make offerings to Soklas, all evil deeds are evil. And you will surpass them all. For the man who bears me, you offer him. Already your movement is lifted and your wrath is fulfilled, and your star has risen and your heart is comprehended. For the truth, I tell you, your last will become suffering. Their Archon is destroyed. And then the figures of all the tribes of Adam will rise, that above heaven and earth and angels there is a generation of the Eon. Here's everything you've been told. Lift up your eyes, and see the cloud, and the light that is in it, and the stars that surround it, and the star that is in front. It's your star." Judas lifted up his eyes and saw a luminous cloud and entered into it. Those who were standing below heard a voice coming out of the cloud, which proclaimed, "The great Or, the image." The chief priests were outraged that he had gone to his apartment for his prayer. There were some of the scribes who were on the watch to catch him in prayer, for they were afraid of the people. By all accounts, He was a prophet. They approached Judas, telling him, "What you were doing in that place? You are his disciple." And he answered them according to their will. Judas took the money and handed it over to them. The Gospel of Judas.